Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. It's oft said that when you stand up and speak in Parliament, the opposition are in front of you, but the enemy are behind you. And I think for Rachel Reeves, this is becoming truer each and every day. There are reports that there are 50 to 60 MPs who are very unhappy at Rachel Reeves and who are actively making the noises that she should go. Will Starmer listen? Who knows? Starmer, of course, gave his complete and utter backing and had complete confidence in Tulip Sadiq. And a few hours later, she resigned. And by resigned, it means fired, but was given the dignity of saying, I will resign. But make no bones about it, she was told she had to resign or she would be fired. So off she went, back to the backbenches, still claiming her MP salary, instead of resigning as an MP for being potentially crooked. However, Rachel Reeves has similarly been blessed with, I have complete confidence that we will get our plans through, blah, 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 blah. In fact, Rachel wasn't even given the vote of confidence by Starmer. He just talked about the policies, not the player. And therefore, I think her position is slightly more precarious. And by slightly, I mean immensely more precarious. I can't see her lasting much longer either. The knives are out. And I think there'll be a smile and a handshake and a quick, can we have a word in the office, Rachel? And then she too will find a necessity to resign. Family matter, health, something like that. I think health would be believable. Mental health. She's not well. She's diseased. She has got mental problems. Not just stupidity and an inability to tell the truth, of course. I think she's depressed. I think she realises she's over her head. She's beyond her talent. But to be honest, I think stacking shelves is beyond her talent. She was the tea maker for the complaints department, and as long as she remembered that old Peter over there likes 2 sugars and that Mary likes only a little bit of milk, I think that's kind of where she is. And that's the kind of really the job that she needs. Making the tea, making sure there's a goodly assortment of biscuits. And if she sticks to that, I'm sure she can have a fairly complete and wonderful life. But for heaven's sake, don't give her the reins of a country's economy. She'll make a pig's breakfast of it. But are they going to part ways? They promised they would bring stability, whatever that means, to Britain's finances, that they would work together, that they would bring growth, that they would bring opportunities, jobs, investment. And they have for every other country, as all the talent and all the money flees Britain and goes elsewhere. Spain, Portugal, Greece, America, anywhere but here. Anywhere but Labour's Britain. And of course, in his first speech after the July victory, he talked about the great victory for Labour, and he talked about how he had complete faith in Rachel Reeves' ability to kickstart the British economy. Well, I wonder if that faith is still there. She's buffeted by the same headwinds that did for Truss, only these are much stronger and coming from all directions, not just from in front, but from underneath, the side. There is nothing going for her. Nothing is pushing her along. Sterling is plummeting. Debt is increasing. The cost of debt is increasing. Bonds costs are through the roof, the highest for 30 odd years and still rising. And this economic growth, this miracle of economic growth that she promised, has not only failed, but has gone into reverse. Britain is shrinking. The GDP is down. The OBR is deeply worried. The Bank of England is deeply worried. It's issuing warnings. It's issuing credit warnings. And with taxes now at an all-time high, she cannot go back and tax anymore. There will be a revolution. It is an absolute mess. She thought she was going to be clever and subtle in this, and she's about as subtle as a bunged up blunderbuss. She just doesn't know. The Daily Star has given her the lettuce treatment. They've got the lettuce there, and they say, will this lettuce last as long as her? And, famously with Liz Truss. I don't think so. I don't think she's got long for office. If she goes today, it wouldn't surprise me. I think she'll be a few days yet, but it won't last long. Now, this is all, of course, her own fault. This particular predicament isn't something foisted upon her by colleagues or anything. These are her decisions. And by all accounts, officials in the Treasury have to sit down and explain how things work to her using diagrams with coloured codings and things. They use their very best crayons, They are absolutely astounded by her lack of knowledge. No one's coming out and saying it, but these are the rumours that they've actually had to bring in basically a primer for her, Economics for Idiots book, the older for Idiots guides, basic economics for idiots. She doesn't understand basic concepts. She claims she was an economist, but she lied. She was never, ever an economist. She was the complaints department at HBOS, and she was only a trainee economist at the Bank of England. So, bullshit and bollockry. I mean, it's done her well. It's got her all the way to the Chancellor of the Exchequer. But screw me, Bandy. Look at what she's done since she's got there. Now she's trying to claim, there's volatility in the markets Europe-wide. Yeah, okay, I grant you there is. But when you see how much further Britain has fallen compared with everyone else, you realise that it's not the volatility in the international markets that's to blame here. Right? Otherwise, we'd all just fall the same, and we haven't. Britain's gone spectacularly downhill. She's trying to draw a line and say, look, Liz Truss had this and Liz Truss had that. Liz Truss didn't understand what she was doing, and this is what she's left us. That was 3 years ago, Rachel, and it wasn't even implemented. Her budget never got through. She only announced it. She never implemented it. You've implemented yours. So these are not the same things. And with America now basically we're going to go parity. I think the pound will go parity with the dollar. And if that happens, we are screwed. Now, I've mentioned before, food prices are going to go up at least 20%. Taxes are going to go up again. She's going to put up fuel tax, even though she said she wouldn't. And so how are people going to live? How are people going to live? They can't afford to eat. They can't afford to go to work. They can't afford this. They can't afford that. Britain is going back to a medieval feudal state, and nobody is allowed to do anything. And you're not even allowed to moan about it. Otherwise, the Starmer police will come and nick you. We are living in an Orwellian nightmare. Us drones will live in our 15-minute ghettos, eat the government-approved bug burgers, and we will smile and we will be happy. I would be surprised if they weren't putting antidepressants into the air so that we all walk around in a state of chemically induced happiness. What a world. But of course, it's all planned. Don't think that any of this is accidental. This is all there. Keep them poor, because rich people don't vote Labour. Poverty and misery. The socialist way. Thanks very much. Bye.